through loving action, pave the path of renewed democracy for this time and for generations to come. Thank you.
Now I'd like to introduce our next speaker. Jacinda Kaysen serves as the state organizing manager for Black Voters Matter, a prominent organization dedicated to Black It's funny how Tony can do this on the day that the sun is out. Anyways, her organization is dedicated to Black enfranchisement. She cultivates and sustains collaborations with statewide partners. In her role, she helps Black-led organizations with comprehensive capacity-building support, voter mobilization strategies, guidance, and establishing 501c3 tax-exempt status, sponsorships, and mutual aid. Here is Jacinda Kaysen and her associate, Dion Davidson.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jacinda Kaysen, and I am the State Organizing Manager for Black Voters Matter. I am honored to stand here with you today, not just in protest of what we're against, but in clarity about what we're building together. I want to speak directly to our white allies here today. Your presence matters, but what you do after today will matter even more. Because solidarity is not where you stand on Saturday, it's about what you're willing to risk all week long. In your home, your workplace, your group chats, and at your dinner tables. I want to be honest. Some Black folks are side-eyeing me for being here. And I get it. We have largely been absent from spaces like this because they often overlook race and the impact racist policies have on Black and marginalized communities. To be clear, Trump policies hurt us all, but hit historically disenfranchised communities the hardest. We can't talk about no kings without the fundamental fact we didn't create this mess. We didn't build the systems that concentrate powers in the hands of the few. But I am here. I believe power belongs to the people, not the few. I am also standing here in vulnerability because showing up in spaces like this, calling for deeper accountability, it can make me a target. But movements have never been built in comfort. They've always been built in courage. And I need to say this, there is a difference between allyship and co-liberation. Allyship can be comfortable. It can look like showing up when it's easy. But co-liberation, that's different. Co-liberation means your freedom is tied to mine. It means you don't just stand with us, you move with us. And that means you must be willing to lean into uncomfortable conversations, challenge misinformation in your family, interrupt racism at your job, push back when people say, this doesn't affect me, because many of you have access to rooms and relationships and conversations that we may never have. And what you do with that access matters. Let's also be clear about the stakes. Black men, women, students, and children are already being impacted financially and structurally by the rollback of DEI. And when they say we ain't buying it, we mean that literally. We are holding corporations accountable. We are being intentional about where we spend our money, because if companies profit off our communities but abandon us when it's time to stand up on equity, then we will respond. We are not buying performative allyship. We are not buying empty statements. And we are buying systems that ask us to shrink so that others can stay comfortable. But hear me, this is not about going back. We are not trying to return to what was. We are trying to imagine beyond it. Beyond systems that divide us, beyond leaderships that hoards power, beyond a democracy that works only for some. So I'm asking you to be courageous. Courageous enough to listen. Courageous enough to learn. Courageous enough to act, even when it costs you comfort. And there are ways to support. Support organizations like Black Voters Matter that work towards building a multiracial, multicultural democracy. Use tools like the 5 Calls Act to hold elected officials accountable, but build real relationships with Black-led and impacted communities, not just today, but consistently. Because change doesn't just happen in rallies, it happens in spaces where silence has lived far too long. So don't just stand with us, work with us, grow with us, risk with us, because together we can shape this country into something where power belongs and shared by the people. And I'll leave you with this truth. Inspired by Fannie Lou Hamer, none of us are free until all of us are free. Your freedom is second to mine. Now I would like to introduce Deon Davison, my co-worker. He is an amazing organizer with us across the state of Michigan. Deon Davison.
When I say no, can y'all say Kings? No.
Kings.
No.
Kings.
Black Voters Matter came out here today because power within this country is trying to consolidate itself so small that it can fit a crown on its head. Like we citizens forgot that democracy is too big to be fitting of a throne. Like we forgot who this country belongs to. But let me say it loud so it echoes through the ancestral claim for my forebears to hear it. There are no kings in America, not yesterday, not today, not ever. I stand here in a long tradition, a Black tradition, a tradition that says when the state becomes violent, when the law becomes a weapon, when fear becomes policy, the people must become power. Right now, our communities are under attack. We see it with ICE, mass agents moving through the neighborhoods like shadows, snatching people from their families, turning everyday life into a battlefield of fear. This is not safety, this is not justice, this is repression. And while that's happening, we in Michigan are being robbed. We have a Michigan Public Service Commission that keeps letting DTE raise our electricity bills year after year. Just yesterday, Consumers Energy received the largest price hike in 20 years. Rent is up, healthcare has become out of reach, and yet somehow our United States federal government has always found money for surveillance, raids, and war. This tells you everything you need to know about where their priorities are. We see the same pattern even beyond our borders. We are pulling closer towards war without consent of the people, without a clear plan, without accountability. This is not a democracy, this is not leadership, this is a power grab. And don't think we don't know what's happening in our very own walls within the state of Michigan. Because justice isn't just about what happens in the streets, it's about what happens behind closed doors, locked doors, prison doors. Look at Crystal Clark. Look at the conditions inside the Women's Huron Valley Correctional Facility, which is Michigan's only prison for women, who has had in the last few years, women, doctors, previous employees come forward to testify about the horrendous conditions that threaten the lives of almost 2,000 women. Medical negligence causing the death of women, guards recording strip searches of women, and black mold threatening the lives and, need I say, the 8th Amendment of these 2,000 women. This is neglect treated like policy, that is violence, that is abandonment, and that is a system saying certain lives do not matter. But here's the truth about this matter. We have power, not the kind that comes from fear, not the kind that comes from force, but the kind that comes from a people, an organized, disciplined, and unafraid people. Because every time they escalate, we grow. Every time they try to silence, we get louder. Every time they try to divide, we come together. This is what a movement looks like. Not unorganized chaos, but clarity. Not fear, but courage. Not costumes, but real revolutionaries. With this, I'll say we will never bow, so today, let me make it plain. We reject the rule by fear. We reject rule by force. We reject any system that treats people like they are indisposable. So when I say no, can you say kings? No?
Kings!
No?
Kings!
No?
Kings!
Thank you.
It is wonderful to see all of your faces. We have such great turnout of our neighbors. Men and women, regular folk of all shapes and sizes. And sometimes we really have to take action. I'm hoping this inspires you. But someone has surprised us with a visit today who is an important mover and shaker in the halls of leadership in our state and doing important things for the state of Michigan, representing us across the country. We are honored to have a special guest with us this morning, Attorney General Dana Nessel. A former criminal prosecutor and civil rights attorney, Dana Nessel is now serving her second term as Michigan's 54th Attorney General. Throughout her time in office, Attorney General Nessel has proven herself a staunch advocate for the safety and dignity of all Michigan residents, even and especially against trespasses by the federal government. Ms. Attorney General.
And I wish that I could give you a list of all the ways that I fundamentally disagree with his policies, but then we would be here for another 2 years. And we just don't have the time because we have to fight back now. So at the Department of Attorney General, I filed 52 cases against the Trump administration. I should tell you, his actions are so flagrantly illegal that we have already gotten 22 preliminary injunctions to stop these illegal actions, and we have outright won 12 of those cases. But obviously we can't do it alone, and we have to do it with all of you, and we have to come together when we do it. And obviously this is a very, very big year for so many different reasons, including the fact that practically everybody is up for election this year. And we have to show up in larger numbers than we ever have before. But let me tell you about a troubling trend that I have seen lately, and I think it's something that we need to be aware of and we need to talk about. And that's how Donald Trump and his cronies and his AI tech billionaires have sought to divide us so that we cannot effectively fight back as a coalition. And we needed to stop. It's the Jews versus the Muslims versus the Christians. It's white people versus black people versus brown people. It's straight people versus gay people versus transgender people. It's people who live in urban areas versus suburban areas versus rural areas. It is generational. It's Gen Z versus the millennials versus Gen X versus the boomers. We can't have this. We will not be able to fight back effectively unless we do it together. United we stand. United we stand.
Show up!
So we must stand together.
Show up!
Indivisible, with liberty and king size. And this, can you tell I'm tired? It's been a really long year. Can we all commit on this No King's Day to standing together? And fighting together as a coalition against autocracy, against gridocracy, against the oligarchy, and preserving our rights, and especially our right to vote. So with that, let's keep on fighting, let's keep on peacefully protesting, and let's keep on showing everybody what Michigan and America is really about. And that is equal justice under the law for everyone. Let's give this a fight.
Want you back another time?
Wow. What a fun drop-in she has been. So now we've got another speaker for you. Rick Steves is a popular public TV, a best-selling author, and an outspoken activist who encourages Americans to broaden their perspectives through travel and to bring lessons learned on the road home to create a more just, sustainable, and stable world. Here's Rick Steves.
Thank you very much. Wow, it's nice to be here. You know, I travel a lot. I spent a third of my adult life living out of a 9 by 22 by 14 inch carry-on the airplane-sized suitcase overseas, and I've learned that I can learn about my home by leaving it and looking back at it from a distance. And all my life, I've come home and appreciated our freedom, I've appreciated our democracy, and I've appreciated good governance. Much as I love Europe, I'm thankful to be an American, and I'll tell you, what I see happening right now scares me. The MAGA movement is literally dismantling our American way of life, and what seems like chaos and reckless destruction is actually an intentional, step-by-step reordering of our society. We gather today in the 250th year of American democracy, hungry for the intangible value of being together like this, as our communities share a determination to stop this coup, to remain free and democratic. I should be in Seattle right now giving a talk like this in my community, but I happen to be working here in Detroit, celebrating your amazing Detroit Symphony Orchestra. And we're doing some concerts, and it occurred to me, hey, we are all community. I can grab a mic and share some ideas right here with all of you. Across the United States, 3,000 gatherings like this, there's a crescendo of concern, raising up, waking up, asking, what the hell is going on? As a traveler, as a historian, I have a unique appreciation of what makes America great. Drawing on that experience, I appreciate what we have and what we can lose. Good governance, stability, rule of law, the importance of honoring societal norms. These are important blessings, and they are undervalued and taken for granted in normal times, but right now, this is fundamental to what really does make America great, and these blessings are at risk. Our president is taking us into a sad future, not America first, but America intimidated and America alone. So, here we are, defending the best we can a democracy that we didn't realize was so fragile. I'm here with a mic, and much of what I'm saying you already know, but we are together. This is solidarity. Feel the solidarity here. Solidarity matters. It's one of our best tools right now. Freedom is the right to speak truth to power. Today, we are exercising our freedom. This is not America bashing. Be clear, this is America loving. I'm wearing my purple shirt right now because I think it is time that we mixed blue and red together. We need to speak out not as partisans. I'm not here as any partisan person. I'm here as a patriot. I care about this country, and so do you.
That's right.
Now, the reality is our country is roughly 50-50. Half Democrats, half Republicans, half liberal, half conservative, and I'm okay with that. In fact, I miss the healthy debate between practical Republicans and idealistic Democrats. I think it's good for democracy. In fact, I hope and I pray for the return of that healthy political discourse. But notice how in MAGA world, the Republican Party is fading away. MAGA Republicans have hijacked the grand old party, and today our country is paying a steep price. So this is not a partisan talk. My message today is patriotic. It is as pro-American as you can be, gathering like this. Now this dictator thing is snowballing. The coup is happening right now. It's underway. I've long comforted myself when things are going crazy by thinking, well, at least we're not at war. Well, actually, we are at war. Oh, not overseas, of course overseas, but right here at home. We're in a war within. And Trump actually calls you and me the enemy from within. His troops are literally in the streets. They're in the airports. Minneapolis was a dress rehearsal, a springboard for a nationwide agenda of a military intimidation, maybe looking forward to the midterm. They've got the money, they've got the advertising, they've got this base, they're building a very icy army. You know, I always wondered where Hitler found his Gestapo. So many hateful and violent Germans. Well, we're learning. We're learning right here in our own country. Imagine in the USA, it's becoming dangerous and scary to speak out. Professors, teachers, journalists, local leaders, regular citizens, actually scared, calculating. Is it safe for us to be saying this now? This is not America. When I'm done with the talk, people say, Rick, thank you for saying that. It took courage to speak out. Well, if it takes courage to speak out, it's time to speak out, wouldn't you say? When it comes to free speech, the way I see it, it's use it or lose it. Now, MAGA Republicans believe America needs one supreme leader more than we need a democracy. And Trump is all in for that. Check it out. He's acting more and more like that supreme leader with somebody else's Nobel Peace Prize in his pocket. He's got a gilded ballroom nearly twice the size of our White House itself under construction. What's next? A dollar coin with his face on it? Well, buckle up, Mount Rushmore. History is not just speaking to it, it is screaming at us. I'm a historian. I know democracies can be fragile. They come and they go. As Americans are learning, our nation can slide sneakily and almost unnoticed into authoritarianism. Now, history teaches us wannabe autocrats, whether they're far left or far right, when intent on derailing a democracy, they all use what's called the dictator's playbook. What's the USA dictator's playbook? Pretty clearly, Project 2025. A century ago, Germany employed the same step-by-step plan to accomplish what could be their project 1933. In 1933, Hitler was elected Chancellor of Germany. 18 months later, following this playbook, total dictatorship. Step by step, political parties banned, no more democracy, absolute power in one man. Think about it. Mussolini, Putin, Orban, Erdogan. Strong men admire strong men. Certainly ours does. They all follow the same playbook. Dictators, by definition, are the enemy of the ideals that truly make America great. These are the much vaunted American ideals, the ideals of America. Ideals that for over 2 centuries have inspired and fostered freedom across the globe. These are the ideals that inspired French and German people after World War II to name their sons Frankie and Johnny. Well, I'll tell you right now, nobody in Europe is inspired to name their children Donald. So let's consider these ideals, the American ideals, and their plight today here in the home of the brave and land of the free. Think of these ideals that we treasure: liberty, equality, self-government, rule of law, individual rights, opportunity, upward mobility, justice, and pluralism. Pluralism. Let me talk a moment about that. We are a pluralistic society. That means that different groups can coexist with equal rights, sharing one country without forced conformity. That is the opposite of a dictator's wishes, yesterday and today. I'll read it again. Pluralism, that is the ideal that different groups can coexist with equal rights, sharing one country without conformity. Now, these ideals are embattled in an oligarchy gone wild. In the United States today, we're experiencing the worst income inequality ever. The top 1% has as much money as the bottom 90%. 3 men, you saw them sitting front row at Trump's inauguration. Those 3 guys have as much wealth as 50% of the people in this country. 160 million people. Now, with all that money, what's left to buy? What do you do with all that money when you've got everything you need? You set your eyes on power. And how do you get power? You buy the government and you buy the media. The government for the United States is a pretty cheap deal. And the result? Corruption running rampant. Our president's salary is $400,000 a year. In this last year, the first year of his second term, he's made $1 billion. $1 billion. That's 2,500 years of his salary, with no apologies. This is the new American way. Now, our founding fathers created 3 estates: the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judiciary. And they said we should have a 4th estate, and that is journalism and media, the watchdog on power. When oligarchs are frustrated, what do? They buy the media. Think of the huge change in media. In the last year, in the last couple of years, billionaires, Zuckerberg, Musk, Bezos, Ellison, they're buying authoritarianism. Then they control the political system, taxation, regulations, they write the code. The Dictator's Playbook is a name I could have given a TV show I produced for PBS in 2018. The actual show is called The Story of European Fascism. Watch it on PBS, right here, Detroit PBS. Yeah. The only network that can run a show like that, I'll tell you. It's 7,000 words, it's 1 hour long, not a word or an image of our president, but it's not needed. The message is clear. 100 years after Europe's fascist nightmare, history is repeating itself here in the United States. The Dictator's Playbook, it's a checklist. I'm going to list off 14 points. Mussolini, Hitler, Franco, fill in the blank, they all used them. They all celebrate these points. Consider these points historically and consider them in today in the United States of America, and then give it a check. 1. A supreme leader who demands public rituals of loyalty, requiring praise and punishing disrespect. Check. 2. Simple solutions to complex problems. With me in power, we'll end the war in Ukraine in one day. Check. Cripple civil society. Go after unions, nonprofits. Silence law firms and universities. Check. 5. Create a class of scapegoats and then dehumanize so nobody cares when they disappear. Hitler had his Jews. Trump's got immigrants. He even calls them vermin. Little more than animals. Check. Control the bureaucracy. In other words, purge the deep state. Fire career experts. Replace them with loyalists. Check. Number 6, use fear of immigrants to create a permanent emergency. That justifies high levels of detention and surveillance. Check. 7, manufacture a law and order crisis. Provoke unrest. And then use that as an excuse for a crackdown. Twin Cities. Check. Number 8, attack and discredit elections. Unless I win, they are rigged. Check. Number 9, weaponize the Department of Justice to protect your allies and punish your enemies. Think Pam Bondi. Check. Number 10, build a paramilitary force. Every dictator needs a private police force, loyal to the president rather than a constitution. Our president has ICE, the best funded federal police force in America, hiding behind masks and at his service. Check. Number 11, shut down the serious press, control media, and target broadcast journalism. Why is PBS and NPR in the crosshairs of this president? Well, listen to this. Fair and balanced propaganda as news is nothing new. Lenin, the dictator of the Soviet Union 100 years ago, had his own special press. It was called The Truth, Pravda. Just like Trump has Truth Social, Lenin had Pravda. There was also Izvestia, the other newspaper called The News. In Moscow, there was a saying, there's no news in the truth, and there's no truth in the news. This is a real issue in our country now, controlling the press. Check. Take advantage of a tragedy or emergency to consolidate power. That's the answer to a wannabe dictator's prayer. Historians know Hitler used this. He had the Reichstag fire. That's when an arsonist burned down their parliament building in Berlin, the perfect excuse for the next day for Hitler to employ his enabling act, crush the liberals, lock up the communists. Stay tuned. Trump is aching for an excuse to invoke our Insurrection Act. That'll enable him to militarize cities, silence opposition, and suddenly we are all domestic terrorists. Check. Seek retribution, lock up political enemies. Hitler's first inmates were not Jews in those concentration camps. They were his political opposition, the Liz Cheneys, Adam Schiff, Bernie Sanders of 1930s Germany. Today in Istanbul, the mayor of that city has been locked up for 6 months. His offense, he was a political opponent of their dictator. He locked him up. Trump says lock him up. That's not just a silly rally at a chant at a rally. That is his vision. Lock up your enemies, check. And finally, intimidation. Now, intimidation is a big deal. It's a favorite tool for keeping people down. I would say if America has a word of the year in 2026, it would be intimidation. Mussolini was the originator of fascism, and he wrote the book on intimidation with thugs. They kicked and beat their way into power. He had his own Proud Boys, and they were stationed at every polling booth. You beat up the first person that votes, and you win that election. Watch what happens at our next election carefully. Look for that intimidation, because it's in the plan. This is nothing new. In medieval Europe, they had intimidation. What did the kings do when somebody was annoying them? They'd cut off their head, stick it on a pike, and posted at the gate of the fortified city, left there to rot, the head of his enemies. Intimidation, every time somebody walked into that town, every time they walked out of the town, they'd see that head on that pike and they would be in line. Now Trump has acts of retribution that are publicity stunts designed to intimidate us. Views of a hellish prison in El Salvador. Why would they show that? It's great television. It intimidates us. Innocent victims of ICE videoed in the streets, dragged into the snow wearing nothing more than underwear and a blanket and blasted with tear gas. I think, why on earth would they show that? No, they're happy to show it. It's great TV. And these are publicity stunts designed to intimidate you and me, left just like those heads to rot on public pikes 1,000 years ago in Europe. That is intimidation today in America. The American public is being conned by the ultimate con artists, and I'll tell you, fascists are experts at telling lies. Lies become the norm. And for me, one of the greatest lies is that the deep state is the enemy. The deep state is the very institutions that make our society work. It's just been framed as something that sounds a little more devious than institutions. The deep state, it is teed up for destruction. That's what makes us strong. That's what makes us equitable. More equitable, yes, institutions stand between our elites and more power. The agenda of our president is to discredit and then shut down our institutions. It's what fascists do. It's what their corporate funders want. When they shut down the scientist, the professor, the principal judge, the doctor, the military leader who's loyal to a constitution and not a dictator, that's shutting down our institutions. When they shut down public servants, from school counselors and national park rangers to air traffic controllers and those who care about our environment, they shut down what makes our society strong, safe, and free. Now, this may be popular with the MAGA base, and it may be good for the quarterly profit statements of Trump's billionaire buddies, but it's not good for the quality of life of our children. And we need to stand against this. Our kids will inherit the long-term consequences of Trump's MAGA-pleasing, oligarchy-friendly power grab. Think about it. Climate, environment, public health, unchecked racism, loss of civil liberties, the rise of corporate influence. You name it. Do we want that for our future? No. Without the institutions that define and defend our American democracy, these losses will be baked in. Yes, if we don't take back the House of Representatives in November, I fear that these losses will be baked in. MAGA Republicans are hell-bent on defunding our government. That means shrinking our government. And they're doing this claiming to save money, but no, they're doing it to empower billionaires. With their cuts, Republicans are saving billions and giving away trillions in tax cuts to the rich, all while claiming to cut the deficit. Either it's an intentional lie or they need to learn some arithmetic. The real goal, fewer regulations for corporations, bake-in tax cuts for the already wealthy. It's been a Republican dream for decades. Do you remember 25 years ago there was a GOP slogan, we'll shrink government so it's so small it'll fit into a bathtub and then we will drown it. That has long frustrated the Republicans because Congress has stopped them from doing it. Well, finally, with Project 2025, they found a solution. Simply steal the power of the purse, which belongs to Congress, and shrink government by executive order. That's what they're doing it, and it's heading for that bathtub. If you honestly want to balance the budget, you don't do it by cutting Head Start. You don't do it by cutting food stamps. You don't do it by cutting the Consumer Protection Bureau. You don't do it by cutting PBS, and you don't do it by cutting IRS. Think about it. Cutting the deficit is actually just an excuse to defund programs that Congress funded representing us people that oligarchs do not like. By the way, I love capitalism. It's a reality. I'm good at it, all right? But I believe it needs a referee. And if you need a referee for capitalism, there's two options. Referee by the people through their government, or self-regulation by corporations. You choose. What's the real MAGA agenda? Well, read the big beautiful bill. It's plain and simple. No government referee in the rough and tumble arena of the free market. And tax breaks for the rich, paid for clearly by cutting services that poor and working people need. It's big, yeah, but is it beautiful? No. The big beautiful bill is the biggest transfer of wealth from working people to the idle rich in our lifetimes. Trillions of dollars, not trickling down to make our society stronger, but flooding up to the already wealthy. Our founding fathers anticipated the pickle we're in today, and they wrote a defense into our Constitution. Checks and balances, legislative branch with the power of the purse, independent courts to enforce the rule of law. It's all structural, the foundations of what we know and treasure as America, and the administration knows it. Get rid of these safeguards, it's easy to pull down the entire house of our democracy. Things are moving fast. Trump and his gang are on the verge of succeeding. They are playing hardball like we hardly know, and they're baking it in. Well, we're distracted by the latest in a chaotic parade of crazy Trump news. Smart people are working late tonight, every night, to implement Project 2025. All 900 pages of that. Do we want that? No! So what can we do? Well, with the GOP in control of all three branches of our government, it's kind of tough. But the 2026 midterms are critical. Could be the last chance for this democracy. And heads up, anti-democracy brains behind our president understand this. They are readying for it. They're concerned about the threat of the voice of the people come this November. All right, to win in November, we need to do a few things. One, embrace uncomfortable coalitions, both center and left working together. The political left needs to understand we need the middle. It cannot be 100% pure in order for the left to win and make lasting change. Two, a broad society-wide resistance movement is needed to stop this coup, and we're helping build that today. Look around, it's great. Three, we each are influential in our own realm. Be active in your lane where you have some standing. Four, empower existing organizations with your support. Believe you make a difference, because you do. Number five, we must be nonviolent. Do not take the bait. They're looking for an excuse to declare an emergency. His troops are primed, well-funded, and ready. Six, do not obey in advance. Fascists love it when we are intimidated into complying voluntarily. Seven, stand firm early. It's easy to resist before. It's easier to resist before authoritarian control is established. And eight, above all, we need to be in solidarity. 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 You know, I've been talking about solidarity in terms of... Say it! Solidarity! Solidarity! Focus on one issue, saving democracy, because without democracy, we've got nothing. We can do this. Remember, power perceived is power achieved. Now's the time. We're going to wake up sooner or later, but we need to wake up now. Generations of courageous, patriotic veterans have protected our freedom at great cost, often giving their lives for our freedom, and we are so good at showing earnest shows of appreciation of our veterans. Well, I'll tell you, that is a total sham if we let our democracy slip away out right now. Most of us have never had to fight for our freedom. We've just inherited it. It's been a gift. But today, we are in a battle for freedom, and we are the troops. It's our turn to defend our freedom. Amen? Now, Trump may think everything has a price, but just like Greenland, our democracy is not for sale. Regardless of the price of eggs, our civil liberties, our freedoms, our American ideals are not for sale. There's 3,000 rallies like this going around all across the USA today, emboldening our citizenry, making it clear that we are not alone. These rallies may even embolden a few Republican legislators to be brave, to grow a little red and white spine. Can you imagine that? A little red, white, and blue spine. Just 3 or 4 Republican patriots in the House and the Senate could rescue our democracy and end this nightmare. Project 2025 is not a dream. It's not a possibility. It is a reality. A serious, smart, determined blueprint to end our democracy, and it's happening right now. Our very democracy is on the line. The Oval Office is draped in golden bling, royal bling. What is that a metaphor for? Our president is no servant of the people. The Trump administration is waging war on America. It's killing our nation's heart and soul from within. It must be stopped. The people who understand this are not a lunatic far-left fringe. We are American citizens, Democrats, Republicans, independents. We are patriots. We are waking up. We are mobilizing for an America that is of, by, and for the people. That is you and me, the people. The people. Thank you. God bless America. Yeah. Thank you.
Housekeeping notes before we wrap this up. Reminder that please stay off the median of Mack Avenue, but please honor the sidewalk and show off those signs that are wonderful. Smile and notice and appreciate that your neighbors give a darn about something that is so wrong, but we're here to fix. Remember, love, not hate, makes America great. Love, not hate, makes America great. Love, not hate, makes America great.
Love, not hate, makes America great.
And this is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Thank you, and thank our neighbors in Detroit. Thank our neighbors here in Grosse Pointe. Be proud of yourselves for standing up and not rolling over and not staying on the couch and not staying in bed with that cover pulled over your head as much as you may want.
That's right.
We will change this.
That's right.
We are the change.
That's right.
We are the change.
We are.
No ice, no war, no kings. No ice, no war, no kings. No ice, no war, no kings. Thank you all for coming. We're here till 1 in the afternoon. We really appreciate it. No kings!